Good day, driver. So today I have a 2010 Mazda 6 here with me, and I'm going to show you how to replace a valve cover gasket. So to get to the valve cover gasket on this car, you want to remove the top, like just with your hands. Okay, just like that. So on these, you have a wrench. You need a wrench for these to remove these. Sometimes you could use a socket too if you want. Next thing you want to do, you want to remove your ignition plugs slowly, because sometimes them easy to rip. So then you want to go ahead and remove the ignition coils. It doesn't matter where you put these. You could always mix up these, so it doesn't matter which one you put back. I mean, either it got in the front, second, third, doesn't matter. Okay, so you got some clip right here. What you need to do, you need a small flat screwdriver like this to press it in between here and try to brace it and push it down. Okay, for this protecting this wire right here. Okay, driver, so you got two clips in this hose right here, or whatever you call it, the harness. See, as you can see, is a screwdriver right here and the valve cover, but you got to press the top of the screw. You get a small screwdriver like this, and then you press the top of the screw like you brace it, and then take your time, release it. Okay, so right in the harness you got two iron pieces. You got to use the screwdriver and prise it, and then take time, rock it till it come right up, and that's how you have the two screw right here for the valve cover. Now you want to go ahead and remove whatever you want to remove. This also, I want to make sure everything is out the way. Then there's another one on the side here. I'll remove this too. Also, you want to move this hose. If you have a hard time moving the one in the back, you could just remove this, because it's just one piece to the intake. So I would move this because this is more closer, and you can more easier take it off. So you want to go ahead and press. There's a green button right here. You just got to press it in. On the other side, pressing the other side of the green button. And you just gotta take your time, because this is because of the heat, it's dry, so gotta take your time. You don't want to break nothing. So these two green, you gotta press, see, one on each side. Gotta press these two green buttons. There's another wire right here, but all you gotta do is just take your time, get a pliers and take this off. Just keep on, bring it up, or you wanna just play with it until, you know. Sometimes you gotta check for button too. So what I do if you're having a hard time, I just and it break off sometimes automatically because of the heat. Some of this stuff you're gonna have break off. The problem is that you just don't want to break no sensor. So like this one, I have this one break, but it's fine. You know what I mean? Because it's very hot. Is what I would say now, because of the heat it get dry. So you want to move this over as you could get to the screw. So right now I'm good, I'm clear. I could get to the screw now. That's when I'm ready, I just remove the valve cover right up. So you're gonna need a deep socket, and this is an 8 to remove because these are small screws. So remember, it's got to be deep. You don't want to waste your time do all these removing wires and stuff and then you don't have the deep socket. So this is a 8mm deep. You want to move everything all around that you can easily remove the valve cover. Because there is maybe 10mm in the back that all this hose is a bracket. You got to use a 10mm. That's the only maybe different socket you got to use for the back. So the bracket in the back is kind of hard to remove. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna try to remove the valve cover before I do any extra work. I'm gonna see if it's more easier to move because I removed the screw already. So let's gonna remove the valve cover and see if I can take off the bracket off this valve cover screw. So there's a socket here on this bracket. I gotta remove this socket to make it to get more play right here. As you can see, it's moving now. So I can remove this screw, then I remove the valve cover. As you can see, that's the bolt right there. So I gotta remove that one. That should get enough play. Now I could lift it up. Then that's the last screw I got to move. So what you want to do next, you want to you could rack it with your hand. If it's all to come off, get a flat screwdriver and prise it little by little around the edge. In the back also, just prise it little by little, then you start to rack it and it should be good. So sometimes you have hidden bolts like these because they're covered. Like these one I didn't saw them. See right here in the middle. Okay, so I gotta remove those two. And right now you're just trying to rack it. Just take your time, remove these wires. And when you're moving it, actually we got the higher stick right here, so I'm gonna move this first. Move the wires. There you go. Alright. So that's what they look like. It's pretty not, don't look bad with a lot of dirt in it. So if you want, you could use brake cleaner in this just to keep it clean. So okay, another trick. What I usually do before you change your spark plug, always change your valve cover gasket. It's very important to do that because you don't want to change the spark plug and you have leak coming from the internal, from the oil section. So, you know, from the valve seal, the valve cover itself. going back to the spark plug, and sometimes you could lose power. So that is why change your valve cover gasket first, then you can go ahead and change the spark plug. All right. So this is pretty easy. You need a hook like this. So what I usually do, you could remove. As a matter of fact, let me clean it first. Okay, we're gonna remove the rubber piece first, then I'll show you how to clean it. Okay. So you want to remove this one first. These are the internal pieces, so you want to move this. You got another one in the middle right here. You got to take your time. See, these kind of feel very stiff, so they need to change. And because these one is bad, this is really high. This is really high come through and go in the spark plug. So that's why I usually just got to make sure you get the right, everything is right actually with the part. I gotta take out this one here again. And now we're gonna take out the big one around. You gotta take your time because you don't want to break nothing. You know what I mean? So that's how it look. And just as how you take it out, you want to put back the other piece. So what happens is that after a while, these wear out. These actually, especially on a used car, these get hold, and that's how you start to leak outside on the engine. So this is a brake cleaner. What you want to do, you want to spray it like this, shake it up, and just spray it like that to take it off the vehicle. So you want to spray it like this. And remember, use a mask for safety. After you do that, just wipe it out. Make sure everything wiped, turn it over, make sure it drip right out. Then now you want to put back your new gasket, and this will be a new gasket. You want to make sure it's matched up. So the good thing about it, make sure you get most of the newer vehicles have rubber gasket. The rubber gasket is better to me because you don't have to use any glue, and you don't sure if you get the problem correct. So the rubber gasket is better. It's just like it seal it. So you want to make sure push down all the pieces in the rubber in between the valve cover. All right. Now we're going to put in the small pieces. These are the ones that protect the valve, the spark plug. So if you was having leak before, now you put this one in, you won't have no more leak. Where this one go? So I make a mistake just now. This one, see, is around the hole. You put it where the screw go. So this one go right here. They look the same, but It's two different sections. So you want to put this down right here, and then the regular one now go over here. So okay, so make sure you use your hand, make sure everything is in, and you want to do the same thing to the big gasket. Make sure everything is in, because you know once you put it in, you don't want to take it out back. All right. What I would do with the engine itself, this I would just wipe over here with a piece of cloth. If it look really bad, you could use like a flat, I forgot the name of it, but something flat just to clean it. But this is not bad right now. But I'm just using a cloth just to clean up a little bit, and that's it. And I have a last rubber, so that's what I'm saying is I have copy piece as well. So you got to remember to put everything. So you just got to basically take your time, because you don't want to leave nothing out. Okay, so you have 1, 2, 3, 4 pieces. Okay, what I usually do, I usually take it out one at a time and replace it piece by piece. At least you don't forget nothing. That's the best way to do it. As soon as you take out one, put in one, you know. Okay, so what you want to do next, just in case you want to wipe, you want to get a piece of cloth and go in the spark plug area and wipe the oil out of it. Okay, so if you have any issue before, you know at least you're good. So you want to wipe the oil inside of it, in all the spark plugs area. So when you put in the valve cover back, you want to make sure, take your time, remove things out the way, little by little, and then you got to look underneath the valve cover, make sure none of the gasket don't, fall out. Then now you want to put back your screw. I would put back the hidden screw first. One right here and one right here. And you want to, when you're screwing this screw, you want to crisscross. I would have put everything one time. Then before I start to tighten it, you want to tighten it X, in middle, X. You know what I mean? Okay. And remember, don't tighten it too tight. You want to tighten it slowly. All the screws, I have to tighten the same amount. Don't tighten one too tight. So what I'm doing right now, I'm just untightening it before I start to do the crisscross tightening. And as I said, you don't want to over tighten it, because you don't want to break the valve cover. Or if you over tighten it, sometimes you can mess up the valve cover gasket. So you just want to like soft tighten it, you know. So this is what you gotta do. You gotta do the back, then you could do the front a little bit, then you go back and do the back. Then you want to go all the way to the corner. Don't tighten that one too tight, then go all the way back to the other corner. That's how you gotta tighten it. And do the same thing until you feel comfortable. So what I did, when I do the crisscross tightening, if I doubt I don't tighten all of them, I just tighten. I go in circles now, and then in the middle. Okay. So now you want to put your plug back. Similar effect is different. So you gotta put. I gotta put one more stuff for that. Okay, right now we're putting the